Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJShow After the Show podcast. Back for a little Friday action here. Had Rosh Hashanah yesterday, or as I called Aaron's Day. David, our program director, came in and said, Happy New Year. I was all confused. I'm like, huh?
What?
I didn't really know what Rosh Hashanah is all about.
Oh my gosh, I was so happy to be celebrating Rosh Hashanah yesterday.
Oh, yes.
I got so much done. I love a Thursday off.
Yeah, it was nice. It's just the way life is and the job. If I have to do any errands, I had a teeth cleaning, supposed to go to the passport office, Kenan had a doctor's appointment, all that kind of stuff. Just, ate up the whole day. So we were running. Had to do that team dinner, had to go to FAU, see the football thing. So I just had so much crap. I'm like, I got to take a day off.
How'd the team dinner go?
Team dinner was good. It was well received. Mulligan's did the work. We had some chicken breasts and rice, mashed potatoes, green beans, and carrots. So
nice.
It was good. Yeah, a nice, well-balanced meal for a football team trying to remain undefeated tonight.
Is that how it works? Do they make the JV players make the meals and it kind of goes around?
No, it's typically parents of the varsity. They come in and usually what it is they'll bring a dish or two, almost like a potluck is typically what happens. So I think we do it a little bit different. So
Got ya.
When the Ralstons take over, my wife does it her own way.
You just take over.
Yeah, she just takes it over. Oh yeah, she would be a terrible lunch lady too. She's barking out orders, got all bossy. I'm like,
Oh, no.
Terrible.
no. Yeah, it was just rough. Even, Caitlin was there. She's like, oh my gosh.
Were you kind of going, I'm not with her?
Well, it was just, I'm like, stop telling me what to do. She's like, do this. I'm like, no. I'm like, hold on real quick. Just slow. Because she just gets into her, she is a machine. She's just da-da-da-da-da super fast. And she wanted to take all the lids off on everything. I'm like, just wait till they get here. I'm like, slow your roll.
Oh, she was yelling at you.
Calm your ass down. Yeah. She's like, get that lid on. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm like, they're not even here. You're going to the food's going to be freezing cold by the time they show up. I said, leave the lids on. It takes a half second to take it off. I'm like, just slow your fucking roll. Calm the fuck down. Yeah. So she was just so, I'm like, calm the fuck down. Just good Lord, man. It's all right.
How many kids on this team you had to feed?
I would guess there was probably about 60.
Wow, that is
I guess. Yeah, football teams are a little bit
lot of kids.
bigger, yeah.
You're probably so exhausted.
It wasn't much because, the good thing about it was Mulligan's brought the food there, and then we just brought in, put on some tables. All I did was scoop out rice as the players came up, so it wasn't, that crazy. So I didn't mind it. That part was good.
Okay.
About the only thing that didn't go well was going to the passport office because, we both got to do it. And I'm not even sure why, but my wife has got a priority to get Cannon, our teenager, his passport. And so we have to wait till I have a day off, which is, not really a whole lot. Typically, if I have a day off, we already have something going on. So we went back to the passport office, and for the second or third time in a row, they were closed. Now, Pamela said, why are you going to passport offices without an appointment? You need to set one up online, and they only offer times when they are open. Also, read up on what is needed. You can get a form signed by the other parent if they can't be there, signed by a notary. Maybe you can do that one day.
Panda's a notary.
Okay.
I always forget that. That's good to know. Every now and then I need some shit notarized. Like,
I know. He can't notarize shit for me, but he can notarize shit for you.
Is it because you're all married?
Yep, we have the same last name. If we have different last names, we could have pulled it off.
How hard is that to become the notary?
You just have to go to a class and pay the money to do it. His boss did it because they do a lot of legal videos. And so for him to be notarized, it is helpful.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice little thing to have.
It
right?
is.
He's got this little stamp. It's kind of powerful.
That's what I'm saying, man. I want a fucking little stamp packet.
Right.
That sounds amazing. It does. It sounds like you got power.
We'll get you a Bigfoot stamp, baby.
I love it. Notarized.
Yeah, and then it's a Mexican Queen project, so that's why I haven't really gotten my hands in it. But
Yeah,
after
I'm
two
curious.
times, I'll do a deeper dive. Be like, okay,
I'm curious what the travel plans are. Is she preparing him for his senior year?
No, I don't know if there's anything that's definite.
It's just good to have.
Yeah, I think that's all it was. And Viv said, yeah, Kevin, I got my children's passport yesterday, and it took about an hour. We went to the Green Acres City Hall. They even offered to take the photos for you for $15. Passport fee $130. Once a child is 16, only one parent is needed, which is perfect for my daughter, whose father hasn't been in her life for the past 13 years. Okay, look up their website, greenacresfl.gov. Yeah, okay, we'll look into that. I will look into it after, being drugged there a couple times. And
Like, we're doing this wrong.
yeah, I'd be like, all right, what the fuck is going on here?
Can we make an appointment?
Yeah. And Cheryl said, yeah, you need to go to the city of Green Acres for your passport. They were open yesterday. They don't take reservations, but they are open from 8 to 4 on Monday through Friday. Yeah, we went there yesterday at like 8:30 to the West Palm office. They're never open. It's crazy. So how is it that they're government agencies. How is it that everyone else is doing it, but West Palm's just like, you know what? No, we're not going to open up.
Maybe every city's different.
It said on the door, though, 8 a.m. They just weren't there.
They were probably like, we're Jewish. We don't have to.
Yeah, I was just like, because, online it said they were open. We went there, it said on the door they should be open, and they weren't open. And then I hear Green Acres is open, so why is West Palm, they just say, hey, we don't want to show up today, and that's just, they can call their own shots. It's odd. Anyway, they got lots of comfortable seating, friendly staff. Okay.
She's just bragging now.
Yeah. Okay. It's on Melaleuca Lane, located in City Hall. Thank you very much. All right. Well, like I said, I'll definitely be looking more into the passport thing.
When you have a plan to go to Green Acres, it'll be closed that day.
Yeah, it's just a baffling thing. It really is. It's just, that's why I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why are they not open? They said they're open online, and it says on their door they should be open, and it's clearly locked, and there's no one here. And they had that big old, the federal places, they put down that big old gate, that silver thing that just, it lets you know really like, wow, we are closed.
You ain't getting in.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you're definitely not getting in, just to let you know if there's any doubt. Yeah, we're without a doubt closed. So there you go. Got some comments here. Boy, just as things are happening, we are seeing more and more about what happened in the Carolinas with Hurricane Helene.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it really is. It's some scary stuff. They were not expecting what happened.
No.
To them, yeah.
It came from the west, which usually when the Carolinas get hurricanes, it comes from the east, and everybody's prepared, and it's this and it's that. Like, this one was kind of like, surprise.
Yeah, really was. So, yeah, the death toll is around 200 now.
Oh, my
gosh. And they said it still could be worse from some sources I've heard. It could be even worse than that, which is crazy. And, so got an email here from Valerie. She said, greetings from Waynesville, North Carolina. We moved from Port St. Lucie 11.5 years ago to experience the horrific wrath of Hurricane Helene.
Oh, no.
Radio's been our only source of information until yesterday. Asheville's about 30 minutes away. I work there. My office is a half mile from Biltmore Village. Nice little area that they have in there in the Biltmore Village. I went in to drop off some supplies. I looked around. It was brought to tears. Major highways are impassable. Some roads no longer exist. No power, water, internet, or cell service. We're fortunate to have all of that back now, but we are in the minority. All we can do is help others, and we are doing that. Please pray. A friend is a first responder, and you can only imagine what he has seen. Rushing water with dead animals floating, mudslides that covered homes and those inside, dead bodies and trees.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, just, people were just saying that, saying, oh, my gosh, here comes this rush of water, and it's filling up in my house, and it's washing people away. One woman was telling the story about her husband. The last she saw was he was just dog paddling away.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's the reality of it. It's
There's that
tough.
one ominous video of the coffin. There was a coffin that was going down one of the little rivers
No
there.
way.
It was.
I saw
I don't
that.
know if that was
Yeah,
from.
I didn't know if that was, because whoever showed that to me, I think it was my wife, and it was
She
TikTok
gets
or
tricked.
something. Yeah.
Let me guess. It's from like 7 years ago.
And it
has
was a
nothing to do with
brand
this
new looking
hurricane.
coffin. She's like, look, it's unearthing graves and washing the coffins down the river. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I thought the same thing. I'm going, this looks a little old. This is some bullshit. Did they get me again? Damn it. What is real?
If you bring it up on this show, they got you.
I agree. No, I think if you even spend 30 seconds on the video, if you watch it twice, they got you.
They got you.
So many people have evacuated and have nothing to return to. They're saying water won't be restored in Nashville for 4 or 5 months. Roads won't be fully repaired until estimated November of 2025.
Wow.
A full year just to try to get back to a small sliver of normalcy.
For an unexpected storm. Like they didn't think they were going to get anything from this.
Yeah.
Nobody was prepared for this. Like, what the hell?
I think that's just it. You just got to prepare for now the fullest brunt of what Mother Nature can bring to you. So, just rough.
And it's so weird because, like, Tallahassee was on high alert. It was supposed to be the worst thing ever for Tallahassee. They were back in class on Monday. They were fine. I mean, they had, of course, a little bit of damage and trees down and stuff, but nothing like we're seeing in the Carolinas.
Right. Yeah, Christy said, Kevin, I had told actual people that stat you shared about the amount of water that fell in Asheville. You said 9 times Lake Michigan. Right now I found out that 40 trillion gallons fell. That's a crazy amount, but I felt like that wasn't close to how many gallons are in Lake Michigan. So I looked it up. 1 quadrillion gallons of water. I'm telling this because it made me think about other things you hear and then pass along as fact, only to find out that it was way off. Kind of like the dirt of the day. I feel like I need to call up each of these people and let them know how off that stat was I gave them, especially because I literally live on Lake Michigan. Kevin ruins everything. Yeah, I got that from ABC World News.
I think you said Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, in Lake Tahoe. They said it was the equivalent of Lake Tahoe. So,
You didn't
and like
say
I
Lake
said,
Michigan. You
P.S.
said Lake Tahoe.
P.S. Kevin, if you didn't get it in this email, you're wrong.
Yes. Well, like I said, I passed it on. I did not do the reference check because I don't have time. But yeah, so I'll credit ABC World News Tonight for that stat.
But Lake Michigan and Lake Tahoe are two different lakes.
Lake Tahoe is a separate one. And I think I also got that from World News Tonight. So, yeah. But either way, it was a shit ton of rain.
PPS, Kevin, stop saying lakes. Stop giving us wrong lake factoids.
This, I'll give credit to Stanford University in case it turns out wrong, but they have done a study that found that hurricanes and tropical storms can cause a surge of deaths up to 15 years after they pass through. They say there's a bunch of cascading effects where rebuilding households, being displaced, social networks get broken, and apparently it damages your health and can take years off of your life.
Well, it's also very stressful if you have to relocate, you have to find a new house,
right.
and then a new social circle because you can't afford to live where you're at.
Yeah.
I could see that absolutely taking a hit to your health.
They analyzed data from 501 different storms that hit the Atlantic and Gulf Coast between 1930 and 2015 and found that these hurricanes have contributed to up to 5.2 million deaths in the United States.
That's kind of one of them. Is that one of them? And is that adding on the being displaced and all that, or is that legit?
I think so. I mean, you'd have to break into the study to see how they correlated everything, and it feels like a stretch to come to that kind of number, but
That sounds like COVID numbers.
who knows? Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of it might be guesstimating. I don't know exactly how they did it, but that's what Stanford University is saying. So if you want to call somebody out, call them out.
Stanford is the wrong dick, not the Kevin Ralston.
Yes, I don't, none of this stuff I originate
No.
myself. I don't do the math. I only regurgitate what I hear from other news sources.
He's a different dick.
That's right.
He didn't write the story.
Therese in Pompano, she said, you're asking about computer models for weather and what they use, and different models are great for different types of weather. So she has a meteorological degree, and she said that, kind of like ChatGPT, you learn how to make them more accurate. That's kind of what the models do. They run through continuously, and so they get accuracy ratings, and so they're always kind of updating their own.
That's all fine. I'm talking about that one rogue spaghetti that it never goes anywhere near. Why do we keep giving that fucking spaghetti shine? It's never even come close.
I don't know. I think you'd have to do a deeper dive on that. The one thing that I had heard is over the last year, I think it was, they've improved the equipment, and they had said that improved the way they figure out storms. They said they were dead on with Hurricane Helene. They said they pretty much picked the spot, the strength, everything was exactly as they said. And they said they believe that this equipment really could change. So when they tell you something, it could be legit. And imagine if they would have, I was thinking about that yesterday. Imagine if you would have known and there was a 2-week heads up to people in the Carolinas say, here's what's coming. You've got a lot of back roads. It would take probably 2 weeks to evacuate those people. It would be like, you need to get out.
Yeah.
But
at least you would know.
Right.
It wouldn't be when the water started rushing through your house that you realize, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, that finding out that kind of stuff, being more accurate, and I think people too would learn for it to be accurate. It's been so kind of wonky.
Yes.
That there are a lot of people like, yeah, I mean, come on, really?
They are kind of,
and you're right. And then they see that one rogue model, and they're like, look at that thing. You didn't know where it's going.
They are a little braggy on this one with their accurate. Like, we were very accurate on this one. So maybe the equipment has gotten even that much better. I mean, everything else with technology is getting better.
I think it has.
That's the shit you want to get better.
Amen.
Predicting storms exactly where they're going to hit.
Yeah. So hopefully we're getting there. Unfortunately, they're getting a lot of practice.
Mother Nature don't care about no machines, though. As soon as you think you beat Mother Nature, she comes over there and kicks you right in the dick. Or vagina.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a time where we can get a hold of and control weather.
Some would argue that we already can, Kevin.
I know that is an argument. I'm just wondering where they would just, because, I mean, you think about what kind of fight that would be if they could control weather. You look at what the Saharan dust did to the beginning part of hurricane season, saying, hey, could we replicate that? They're being able to find
make
things.
Saharan dust?
Can we put things in cloud formations that, in a sense, kill them, slow their roll, and just stop them? And all these kind of like little things where, in a sense, you could control weather. I thought, wow, what a crazy thing. And imagine if the U.S. developed technology to be able to theoretically do that. One, you'd save a gazillion lives, but then think about, they always do this in the movies, when that technology falls into the wrong hands.
Well, that's exactly. Well, remember I asked Al Roker that when we were interviewing him, and I asked him about, do you think the possibility of weather control could ever happen with the government? He pretty much laughed me out of the studio. Would you be that shocked? I mean, I know you would be shocked, but if you found out some thunderstorms that's happened here on Earth were government made, would it? I know it would blow your mind a bit, but would it really shock you that much?
Well, I know there are things they do, cloud seeding and some things like that they believe can encourage weather and manipulate weather a bit.
You find out a tornado that landed down in Oklahoma was government made, Virginia. What do you think?
That's horrifying.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
And those theories used to be, what's this crazy bird talking about? Weather control. Mm-hmm. Now I think people go, I think it's possible.
I think eventually we could get to it. Yeah, I think we're probably 20, 50 plus years away. But if you told me sometime in the future we are going to be able to control weather on our planet, I'd be like, okay. All right.
Even make our own weather. If all of a sudden, imagine doing that to the enemy. All of a sudden, you throw down 10 tornadoes right in front of all of their weapons. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could do stuff like that.
Well, you talk about climate, whatever it is right now, and it's wonky. I know that's in and of itself that gets controversial, but I mean, just imagine we may be motivated to the point where you get a brain like an Elon Musk to say, hey, how could we maybe start using this weather in our favor? How can
I make money off of weather?
Oh, how can we get rain where we need it, when we need it? How can we not get too much rain where we can't have it?
I don't know, man. Possibly that technology already exists and we just don't know it.
Yeah, I would think that you
Someone's working. If we're talking about it, someone's working on it.
I think they're working on it. Yeah, I think you would see signs that, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Well,
Somebody's
there's
gotta
some
be doing
strange shit going on out there in the sky, man, where it looks like odd things are going on in the sky that people can't explain, and they just chalk it up as a natural kind of a thing, but it looks weird, and there's plenty of videos about this stuff.
You think that's them trying to manipulate the weather?
I'm not saying that it is, but what I'm saying is, how would you know? How would you know if they're doing some kind of a test? When you look up at the sky and you see some weird sky shit that doesn't look normal to you.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they could be doing testing. There could be stuff up there. I don't believe that they really have command of it. They may have some things that they think they might be able to do, and maybe there's some optimism saying, yeah, if somebody's on here right now that knew, they may be like, yeah, Kev, honestly, in 50 years, we will control the weather on our planet like you control the thermostat in your house.
This is some G.I. Joe Cobra shit, Virginia.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I wish you did. Gosh, why can't you be Denny's right now?
Do you want me and Denny's to switch?
Just for this conversation.
I'll go in there. He can come in here.
Couple comments that came in. One says, yeah, I need to call out the boss at that plastic factory where the people died because they couldn't leave work, and they're right by a river. They think at least 6 or more people have died. First, I had seen them on the news today. They're saying, why are we even at work in the first place? We're right next to the river. And then, two, I guess people wanted to leave, and the boss is like, no, don't leave. And I don't know. To me, I'd be like, dude, I am leaving if I want to leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, so kiss my ass. So I don't know how that went down, because there'd be no boss that would keep me at work if I felt like my life was in danger.
The river's rising, and we're just going to hang out here until it overtakes the building.
Well, and that's such a freeing statement to tell somebody when you don't want to do something. You know what? You can kiss my ass and then walk out.
Yeah, I would. Forget it.
I love that expression. Kiss my ass.
Also, shout out to the midwives from the Greenville, South Carolina area who are collecting birthing and postpartum supplies to take to mothers about to deliver babies, and those who are recently postpartum. Absolute angels. So, yeah, you're seeing a lot of heroes and a lot of angels coming out of this. So people are rising to the challenges. They're now starting to figure out how they can go in and try to help them out. And it is pretty crazy. Well, we started off the show talking a bit about the back and forth on Harry and the Natives, and then found out that they were on Fox and Friends this morning on Fox News. And my goodness, your husband, Virginia, sent me a video, and we saw some photos, too, of what was going on out there at Harry and the Natives in Hope Sound. And that's from his car, if you're watching KVJ TV. And my goodness, one person had texted in and said there were about 300 cars.
Now, we suggested that Harry not go political. I think he went the other way.
Well, that was just kind of it, where
but
what I'd heard, in fact, what got me thinking that way was I had seen this email from Brian. He said, yeah, because we were talking about Harry going away after like 72 years and how sad, we're losing these local restaurants. And then he said, yeah, I just want to shed some light on it. From somebody who's lived in the area for a long time. A few years ago, they started selling Trump merchandise and anti-Biden merchandise in the parking lot. I've driven by Harry and the Natives for over 30 years, but it wasn't until they aligned themselves politically before they effectively cut their business in half. People should be aware that if you align yourselves with a political party, you alienate 50% of your customer base. The same thing has happened with a number of different stores in the last few years. What a shame that a family business 80 years is closing because they lost 50% of their customers by supporting a presidential candidate. Don't mix business and politics.
Hashtag political pancakes.
If every one of their supporters, though, just doubles up their order, I think they'll be okay. If you were going to go in there and get one order of crab cakes, now you got to get 2.
Well, if it turns into a political thing where it's a rah-rah thing, then you might get other people now going to your restaurant to that you would not have gotten to join your side.
But then what happens in December when we have the president, we know who the president's going to be, the race is over, and now there's not all this fever around both candidates, like in December and then January,
but still, though,
what's going to happen then?
At that point, you've already you're like, all right, this is my restaurant. They believe what I believe. Even if we don't win or if we do win, I'm gonna ride it out. I can see how It's like you're talking about with a college or a football bar. This is a little bit deeper because it's political.
This is so
but
deeper.
But again, though, you're getting people on your team, and this is becoming a story now, and people, they get jacked up for a story.
But what about, okay, just if this scenario plays out, I don't know if it will or not, but what about if Trump loses, and then what? Then what happens to Harry's?
Well, I think you're still going to have Trump fans, though.
Oh, of course you
So
will.
I think that's what I'm saying.
But there won't be a parade like this morning. There won't be people coming out in droves like this morning.
Well, you know what I was saying is, if you know your area, then it could work. Look, in my hometown, I don't get back there often, but from what I can tell, is they're overwhelmingly Republican and Trump. So if you had a restaurant like that was doing that, it would benefit the business. You just have to know your area. And Vicky is back, and she said, that guy's political party affiliation and political leanings has nothing to do with why he is losing business. Martin County has 61,000 registered Republicans and only 25,000 registered Democrats. They overwhelmingly voted for DeSantis in 2022. And in fact, the entire South Florida area voted for Ron DeSantis in 2022. The only county that voted blue is Broward. He keeps saying South Florida. Florida is divided like the country, and it's just not true. In fact, there are 1 million plus more registered Republicans in the state to Democrats, the people that emailed you that are the crotchety, angry libs.
This has turned political.
Yeah,
Political pancakes.
That's political Vicky. She gets very political. But, yeah, to that point, you just have to know. But, look, for me, even, if you're talking 25,000 or whatever, I would just have to look at the numbers. If I were a business, I don't think I would feel good doing it until it was probably 90% in one side or the other. And it's like, why am I doing this? I'd sell food and drinks and a good time. Like, why would I want to get political? That's just my thing. I've just seen so many people that you don't need to get political, but they do. And in one way or the other, it just always seems to, they get caught up in it.
I think either side just gets so angry about their position.
Right.
And then it just becomes this place where now you're operating from this place of you're just so angry. And I don't know. I don't have time for that in my life.
Yeah. Christine went by. She said, yeah, it's a massive Trump rally as we speak. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it was. So, I mean, that's not going to be the change.
Well, I hope those people continue to support him after the election because when all the hype of the election is over, he's still going to have a restaurant that needs support.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it would be if those 21,000 registered Democrats, are they care. Like, to me, I don't care either way. I would go
I don't
if
care
the food
either.
was good, but
if the food and the atmosphere
Yeah.
is great, like, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm just like, all right, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot of people that do care.
But yeah, there's 21,000 people that some of those would probably be like, yeah, I'm not going to go because of that. Now, Nina, she said, my 4-year-old son was a huge hit on Staten Island. Back in 2020, he dressed as Donald Trump. You can see it. I mean, that's kind of adorable. Look at that kid.
That's very
If you're watching
adorable.
on YouTube. We recently moved to Jupiter, and I want him to be Trump again.
He needs to go right now to Harry and the Natives.
Oh, they would love
I mean,
that.
if that kid walked into Harry and the Native, he would be all over Fox News.
Pull that kid out of school right now.
Yeah.
Go find that wig. Y'all be on TV in 30 minutes.
You'd be on TV in 30 minutes.
Did I ever step my mom boundaries? Look, Nina, I don't care. Honestly, I think it's good. I find it silly that people get so triggered about politics on either side. But, just so you know, there's probably going to be a person or two that would walk by and have a word to say with you, and they may yell something unsavory to your child. And
Probably more than one or two.
They may curse at your child and make him cry.
yeah, so
That's just how people are.
yeah, could be. So who knows?
Could be.
Yeah.
We think it's cute, though, because we're not looking at it politically. It's just a kid in a wig.
Right. It's a cute costume. Got Alyssa sending an email talking about a controversial figure, Ellen DeGeneres. She said her Netflix stand-up was funny, addressed her being mean and getting kicked out of Hollywood. I'll put that. I'd be curious to hear how that is.
I almost watched that over the week, the days, whatever we had off.
Yeah, there's a lot, all these YouTubers now, everything is, they pick everything apart, they dissect it. There's a lot of people going after her saying she's not taking responsibility. I want to watch it myself to see if it's legit, if it's even good, if it's interesting to watch. I'm hearing mixed reviews on that. Imagine that. It's 50-50 right down the middle.
I mean, I've heard from so many people, like insiders and people that are comedians and people that aren't your Jennifer Anistons. People that are like a little lower on the rung have talked about how she was just straight up nasty to people.
Do you know who defended her a bit? Was Rob Schneider.
Oh, of course.
I saw him in an interview.
King of nasty.
And she got brought up, and the interview, it was Megyn Kelly. She was trying to get Rob Schneider to talk some shit about Ellen.
Okay.
And sometimes comedians won't talk shit about other comedians. It's a kind of an old school way.
Right.
Especially if you have a history with them, and she wanted him to talk shit, and he kind of wouldn't.
Okay.
He was kind of dancing around it a little bit.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go in, and he kind of did not. He almost kind of defended Ellen.
He probably sympathizes with Ellen because everybody talks shit about how mean he is.
Yeah, he was just talking.
He probably sees himself in her.
Yeah, it was weird. Rob was doing the old treat people nice type of speech.
What?
Well,
Rob Schneider was saying you should treat people nice.
He's just he kind of has like he's doing his guru era right now.
Oh, he is.
Where
Okay.
he's learned, he's got wisdom.
He's evolved.
Well, if you're on the side of you don't like the cancel culture and people kind of getting blackballed and not being able to use free speech, I could see where he might be also from that angle.
Yeah, he was just talking about how he was up in the ranks with her and saw some of the stuff she had to go through that she used to vent to him about.
Okay. Yeah. All right, he's got an interesting perspective.
Her
on
being a gay woman and her she would vent about stuff that she had to go through.
She's a gay woman. He's a short dick. Yeah. They have a lot in common.
Look, I didn't say it. It's fucking.
Anybody that Rob Schneider starts defending, I look at them with more stank. I don't know.
Yeah, Jennifer said, doesn't his daughter hate him?
Yeah. She despises him. Because he was a terrible human to her.
Apparently that apology he threw out there didn't hit with her either.
No.
Well, what happens if a guy's a dick or a woman's a dick up until they're 60 and then they have their Ebenezer Scrooge moment? Do you?
It's tough. Look, it's the person that they were.
Who they hurt.
Yeah.
And how they hurt them.
Yeah.
And what did they do?
It's up to that person.
Let Elle King decide if she's going to accept his apology or not.
Because isn't that the whole point of the Ebenezer Scrooge tale? Is that it's never too late to change? But is that a bullshit message? Is there a time period where it is too late to change?
There are going to be people that are not going to be like that show that are going to be like, yay, and they welcome you to dinner and they forget all the terrible things that you did and said, even though think about how quickly the whole town turns in one morning. They're like, hey, he's got a smile on his face. Come on in.
That's what I'm saying. You mean tell me because Ebenezer Scrooge had 3 ghosts visit him and he's cool now. We all got to, Ebenezer's cool now. What a great guy. No, some people are going to fuck Ebenezer. He fucked me over 40 years. My dad worked so hard and or whatever he did.
Yeah,
you're right. Fuck that movie. I hate Ebenezer Scrooge now.
Yeah.
It really does.
You should hate Ebenezer, but don't hate A Christmas Carol.
Well, he's old. He got to be a dick his whole life, and then at the end he gets visited by 3 ghosts. Oh, you're cool now.
Yeah, right. It's all good. It's all good. Another thing I got to comment about mixed reviews. The new Joker movie, Folie à Deux, is opening up this weekend, and Neo said, the Joker movie is being trashed for being god-awful.
It is.
Really?
I'm seeing this.
Even Gaga?
Well, I think performance-wise, Joaquin and Gaga have done well. I think they're talking about the storyline. It just didn't need to be made, and it's kind of a watered-down version of the first one, but just now with the musical.
Yeah,
it's
it's almost forced. They said, how can we squeeze out another one?
Well, they were just saying, a lot of people thought that was a perfect movie just as it was. The people that were fans of it say, you made a from A to Z perfect movie. We didn't need it. We didn't need a sequel on this one.
Mm-hmm. And another controversial person is the breakdancer Raygun.
Oh, Raygun's back.
She came out, did the goofy thing in the Olympics, and then kind of took the victim role of people were being mean, the stuff they said to me. But then other people were saying, I don't know, you and your husband seem to manipulate things in Australia to get yourself into the Olympics. You got the free ride there and enjoyed all the benefits of it when you weren't qualified and shouldn't have been there in the first place. You did a deeper dive on this, Jay Bird, and I'm at the point where I feel like this is all on Raygun.
I do not feel bad for Raygun. I've done a deep dive. She is not a victim on this.
Tell me, because I was hoping I wouldn't be an a-hole going in on her and feeling the way I did. So tell me why I'm justified in my feelings.
I feel like she and her husband manipulated the system somehow to get in the Olympics. I can't believe that it was that easy. There's video of a couple kids from Australia kicking the shit out of her on a dance where she loses. She was trying to say when they interviewed her after, are you really the best breakdancer from Australia? Well, I think my record proves it. Well, your record and video show you got your ass dusted by some kids who legit could breakdance.
Well, and that was just it. People were like saying, this is the best Australia has? Couldn't believe it.
There's something more to this story.
So she manipulated the rankings so that she got the nod to go to the Olympics over legitimate breakdancers.
The other thing
That's an asshole move.
The other thing I don't like either is her husband, if you watch some of the videos, the ones from Australia before she got in the Olympics, he'll be on the side, and when she does a move, he'll start moving his arm to get the audience to start cheering. So if you're just watching the video, you see Raygun doing some moves and you hear the audience cheering, thinking, oh, they fucking love Raygun. They don't. He's manipulating the crowd.
So we just thought everyone in Australia couldn't breakdance.
They can break dance.
Which it was very damning for Australia, because I'm like, well, man, nobody in that country could dance.
That's their best.
She's kind of ruined the reputation of Australia's dancing abilities.
And I really studied her a lot. I've watched the performance a lot from the Olympics. When she walks out, she's got the cockiest, most arrogant face.
That was what you couldn't believe. She had this. That's why I thought, honestly, it was I couldn't understand it. I'm like, is she that terrible? Is this a troll job?
There's
How
some
the hell did
wonky
this
shit
happen?
going on with her and her husband. I do not support Raygun.
How is she so detached that she went out, thought that shit was good, and then got murdered for her performance, and then tries to make herself the victim when she may have cheated other legitimate breakdancers from going to the Olympics?
There's more to this Raygun
That's terrible.
shit. Yeah, I end up not
she deserves
liking
everything.
Raygun.
If that's true, she deserves everything that's coming. In fact, she deserves more.
Well, didn't she take breakdancing out of the Olympics?
They stopped doing breakdancing
Because of her.
I don't know if it's because of her.
I think it's because of
I
her.
think it is, man.
It is, Kevin.
She kind of Borated the Olympics. That's what it seems like.
She made them feel stupid, and then they're like, okay, we're not doing it anymore then.
She didn't help their case.
No.
She didn't help their case.
I think she took Olympic breakdancing off the table.
I love how Denny's has the Raygun video ready to go at any minute. He's playing it right now.
It's good. Yeah, you got to have that thing ready. Because it's so unbelievable.
Well, then she comes out acting like the victim. And
that's what really was a massive turnoff.
And talking about
especially
death
if
threats.
she did what you're saying she did.
And I have a new thing. If you're going to say people are giving you death threats on something that doesn't seem very death threaty, I want to see said death threat. Show the receipt. I want to see what you're talking about.
It's just, everybody says that now. I'm receiving death threats. That's the ultimate, okay, we need to back off and give them sympathy because they got death threats.
Yeah. Raygun. Not my Raygun.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. Honestly, if you do anything shitty, you need to have someone send you a death threat. Be like, hey, would you guys send me some death threats?
Well, it's so easy to automatically go into victim mode. I'm Kevin. I'm getting death threats.
Right. And then the people, oh, let up. It's a death threat. We can't do that.
Well, what was a death threat? Well, they said I suck in all caps. Well, that's not a death threat.
Right. Yeah, that's a fascinating one. Had a question today about the Nikki Bella, Brie, what's going on? Heather said, yeah, Nikki Bella was with John Cena. Brie is married to Daniel.
Believe me, people let me know real quick. Bird, John Cena is married happily.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So we can't bust up that home.
No, I was very wrong. Several times today, but I was really wrong on that one.
Yeah. We're not trying to break up his new marriage.
No.
And other unsavory characters. Pete Rose. Doug sent an email. He said, you're talking about Pete Rose the other day and his restaurant in Palm Beach County. And Boynton Beach. I do have a story about him. Several years ago, when his son was playing baseball, they came to Okeechobee Park for a tournament. My dad was the field director, so Rose sat up in the press box with him because he said he didn't want to be bothered by people. He refused any autographs and was kind of a jerk. And after about an hour, he and my dad seemed to get along, and Rose suddenly grabbed a dozen baseballs and started signing them. He told my dad to give them out to whoever he wanted, and when my dad asked why he changed his mind about autographs, Pete Rose laughed and said, well, because you're one of the few people I know with the balls to call me out for being a jerk. Now, don't do it too often. He's an example of how sometimes not very nice people can do great things.
Yeah, I think Pete was a moody fuck, and I think he was a bit arrogant. And I just think, you know, he did some shady shit. I love the way he played the game.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
Yeah, he modeled, I'd say, a big core of my own personal work ethic is because of Pete Rose. But I think you can take pieces of somebody, not their totality, because I don't know of any human being you ever should try to be the total of who they are, because I think we're all made up of the good and bad. You can say,
true.
Hey, look, he was great on the field and the way he played it. I want to hustle like Pete Rose did on the field. Not to say I want to be a shitty human to people and all that. That part of Pete Rose, I don't need to be, but I can focus in on what he did that was so great.
Totally.
Yeah, try to be that.
I feel like he inspired your haircut when you were a kid.
I swear to God, when I was a kid, I did it because of Pete Rose.
Yeah, the bowl cut.
In fact, I remember because when he'd take off his baseball hat, it would press in on his hair. I had my mom trying to curl my hair so it looked like I'd been wearing a baseball cap to go to school.
And that's so funny.
First of all, what a terrible fashion choice. But two,
when I was a kid, I was probably my freshman year. There was a baseball player named Brady Anderson, and he was growing the
I remember the name.
90210 sideburns, and he was hitting a bunch of home runs.
Baltimore, right?
And I thought it was so cool. So I tried to grow out my own sideburns, but my left sideburn wasn't growing in, so I had to color it in with a marker. So when I'd be on the baseball field, I'd start sweating, and it would just start leaking out of my face.
That's amazing. All the terrible things we did, think we were looking cool. And we also had a make up or break up today. Somebody wanted to know about her firefighter boyfriend that is doing his shifts, then coming home, and he's always too tired to do anything. I said, well, is that your boyfriend thing, or is that a firefighter thing? And Leslie said, my ex is a firefighter, and that is not true. We are not that busy in South Florida.
Oh.
And Katie said, my husband's a firefighter, happily married for 20 years. I agree with the panel. He's just not that into you. Move on. So
I feel like the guy is not into you. I know a ton of firefighters that, they take a nap and they don't want to go do some stuff.
I dated a bunch of guys that weren't that into me. It happens.
Yeah, they because they start, I'm tired, babe. Can we
reassess and move along, sweetie?
Yeah.
I never heard that part of it. So got also an email here from Key. Said, so I know Denny's doesn't need anything more to do, but when you guys aren't in, could he do a best of ATS when you guys are gone? I would love it. That's from Key in St. Augustine. Yeah, you know what? I will help to do that, because we do have on our YouTube, we're getting better with it as well. We have playlists that you can go to. For instance, if you want to watch the Whacked Out News, I just opened a playlist for that. By the way, it needs to start getting more numbers, because if I do it for another week and it gets the low numbers it is, I'm going to stop doing that shit.
So Whacked Out News is on borrowed time.
It is. It's got to pick up, yeah. If it gets 100 views a day, I'll do it for those 100 people. But yeah, we got like 60 yesterday. I'm like, or the day before. I'm like, I'm not sure I'm doing it for 60.
Isn't that always soul crushing? You put some time and effort in it, and it's like either 60 people watch or the first comment. And it's nothing to do with the video, just a diss of, oh, nice, the fucking dish is dirty, fuckface. Like, oh,
well, I tell people, and I'll let KVJ Nationers know, we listen to what you guys say, whether it comes to bits we do on the show or the extra content we put out there, because there's 4 of us. And we're very limited, and so Denny's is putting up a lot of stuff. I'm putting up a lot of stuff. And so we're limited on time. And so I tell everybody on the show, we look at what gets reactions. And if it doesn't, stop doing busy work. So if it doesn't push the needle, then we just stop doing it, because we don't have time for busy work that doesn't be effective. So yeah, so if you like something, let us know, and then make sure that you're viewing it, sharing it, and all that kind of stuff, because it is on the radar always. And if it starts to fall off or it just doesn't have, it will be like, yep, that's canceled. So we'll stop doing that. So yeah, I will, because we are putting together the ATS, the whole point of it. If you do, everyone will get an ATS, but we'll slap something together because I know people are in their routines, and we try to put up a stream so the chat can still talk and we play the show even if we're out. And so we'll do that for the ATS. We'll have some stuff because we're starting to get good ATS moments and things like that we can slap a couple of those together for you and have a chat open. So something we'll look at. But again, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure it gets views and make sure you're here to check it out. Because if 10 people are watching it, we're going to do it once.
Don't make Daddy sad, or Daddy will take away your prizes.
It's my version of I'll turn this car around.
I'll turn this car around.
That's exactly it. I'll turn it around. All right, always appreciate your feedback. You can go on ahead and send us emails, mail at kvjshow.com. Y'all enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Goodbye.